Amazing audience, we are live with Anita McCurdy. Anita, it's a great pleasure to connect with you.
Very nice to meet with you also.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Well, I am intrigued to know what you do.
So I currently run a restaurant.
Okay.
I run Zoe's Kitchen, which is Mediterranean. They're corporate and they have chains nationwide right now.
I'm excited.
So I'm the GM. We're in the lunch rush right now, so it's been a busy morning.
I could imagine. Mediterranean food. How did you get into that?
So the regional operator in Arizona was a friend of mine that we worked in a career together previously. And so when she had some restaurants that were going to come open, she contacted me. She thought I'd be a good fit for her restaurants. I typically do bar management, and they wanted somebody who thought a little different than a typical restaurant manager. And so it's worked brilliantly for the last year, so I'm excited.
That's intriguing. So what part of your talent do you think is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
I tend to cultivate relationships, is what I do. So I like to connect with people all the time. I like to keep people in my circle, maybe not my close circle, but pretty close. And I just believe that connecting people is what makes the world go round.
Who did you learn that from?
So my mom and my dad. My dad was military. We come from a huge family from both mom and dad side. And so we always just build relationships. And that's how we just kind of make the world go round.
Yeah. Well, why will you continue to repeat that skill of building relationships?
You're watching the world in a funny place right now.
Yeah.
And so we've taught our children how to be social media savvy and how to navigate the World Wide Web, but they don't know how to have a conversation. And we're stuck in a world where tons of people are looking for help and they have no idea how to ask for help because it's not on their app. And so I'll continue to teach people how to cultivate those relationships in hopes that maybe we get back to having conversations with our neighbors again.
That's amazing. That's been the theme of our conversations today. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's really fascinating. And like I was talking to a guy back there, and well, Randy is outside there too as well, but Guy was telling us about the power of that and how necessary it is.
Yeah.
And when it's amazing how it happens randomly, yeah?
Right.
But it's real what's happening, right?
It is. You're watching the world be in a very funny place right now.
Yeah.
So if you could teach your kids to develop conversation skills, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I agree. What's one other thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
I pray consistently.
How does that make you feel?
Amazing, because again, you're watching the world be ridiculous right now, and so you can clearly see people that have no faith. And what do you turn to? How do you hope for a better day if you don't believe in a better afterlife? And so for me, praying is what gets me through the day. If it's rough, today is rough, tomorrow is going to be better, and at some point in time it's going to be amazing. But if you don't have any hope for a better future, then what is there to live for?
Where are you from? Where are you? What your facials? It's hard to read your facials.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Oh, it's Puerto Rican.
So my mom's Puerto Rican, my dad's Puerto Rican. That's it. We're right from the island. So I think when you see the features, it's because we have all that, right? Yeah. It's a mixing bowl of everything.
Because I'm all right, I know the face, but I'm not sure if I know the face. Yeah, that's amazing. All right. Why would you suggest to people that's listening that they do what you've done by creating within your business model? Yeah, You've created ways that you could transcend into helping others.
I mean, what I would tell people is, if you have the opportunity to even be an ear for somebody younger, then you should. When I started my restaurant, they gave me the option to hire however I wanted. I hired a staff that came to me, 90% of them had never had a job before and had no skill, and I chose to do it that way because I want to give people an opportunity to learn a skill. Social services is going to end. That's the reality of the world. There's not going to be enough money in the social service department or in Social Security. So how are you going to survive? Because at some point in time, you're going to have to stop hoping that somebody's going to give you any aid. But if you can learn to do something so that you can carry yourself, I mean, it would go wonders. I've had like 1,000 jobs in my life, so I'm never worried about what my next step is because I continue to grow some skills. So I would hope that if you had the option to teach somebody that same thing, that you would.
Love that. And where's the best place for someone to connect with you? At the restaurant?
So you can find me at Zoe's Kitchen in front of Arrowhead Mall. You can find me on my social media.
How good is the food, yeah?
It's fantastic.
Right,
it's fantastic.
How dare you ask me that? It's
right,
fantastic.
right. Well, so like I see my cheering section back there. They're like, we eat all the time. So I mean, and here's the deal: Zoe's is corporate, but they give me a ton of free reign. So if you come in and you don't like your food, we'll make it again. I'll comp the meal, and we'll figure out what you do like. So it's not you're not going to be stuck with like $100 meal that you hate or that is like 4 bites.
Love it. The audience goes crazy. Right. Well, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Actually, my earliest, so I thought about this last night. I was like, God, what is it? My earliest memory is sitting in my grandmother's house in Puerto Rico. So she had a house that was like most of the Puerto Rican houses, like you park your car underneath and there's like a second floor with all the houses. And I was sitting there with my mom and my sister and my grandmother. Like I can physically smell it and I can hear the sound and I know exactly the music that was playing, like crystal clear. I can see it. And
how old do you think you were?
Probably like 8. It was the first time we used to go every summer, but the first time I can remember is when I was 8.
Why do you think that memory is so clear?
Everything I love is in one picture. My mom's there, my grandmother's there, my sister's there, like Puerto Rico's there. Everything I love is in one picture.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Well, we're close. So my mom and my grandma are probably the best cooks in the world. And I'm probably a little biased. I'm probably a little biased. But the best conversations we had were around a dinner table still to this day. Even when my grandmother was very sick and passing, the best conversation of my life happened at a dinner table where she just sat down and one day and told us about her life story, which was amazing. And so when I have a restaurant, that's the atmosphere that I'm trying to build for the people that come in, is I want you to not have to worry about who's cooking your meal. I want you to be able to have that conversation with your loved one where maybe you talk about things in depth or maybe you just talk about your day, because nobody's doing that anymore. People are eating in front of their phones and their iPads and they're watching a movie, but they are not having the conversation with their spouse, or the parents are not having the conversation with their kids, and then they're sitting at home like, I don't know, how come that relationship fell apart? Well, you haven't talked to anybody in 5 years, so that's why that fell apart. So,
but can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory? I love the concept of the melting pot of food and what food does. Food is like a culmination of so many things that then make a beauty. And what you've done with the people that have asked you to work, you've created that, right? You've created as well for them a place for communication, for conversation. So it's good to see that. I'm not sure if we'll get to taste our food, but
guys, like, no, I got this. I got it.
If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
When I was 12, I was in love with New Kids on the Block. Like that's when they were first coming out, and my mom had taken us on a trip to Pennsylvania. We did a lot of car trips back in the day, but we were in Pennsylvania and we were at Hershey Park. And I remember standing in line for a roller coaster, and their videos were popping up all over the TVs. Like I just thought I was gonna love them forever. Like I had posters, and because before then, like I listened to New Edition, and so. Like I grew up in a pretty ethnic house. Like we listened to everything from classical music to R&B to to Motown. But when we saw New Edition on the big screens and Step by Step came out, I was like, oh my God, I just love everything about them.
Well, definitely in life, step by step, even in the kitchen, it's important. All right, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more.
Got it.
We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yep.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Maybe like 2 or 3. Two.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? More than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
About 8.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
As a Latina woman, you can be neither overeducated nor overdressed.
Love it. thought about this, didn't you? Anita, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, I mean, I think we said it all. I think it's important that you pray at this point in time, whether you believe in what's going on in the world or not. Like, don't pray for the downfall of what you disbelieve in. That you should pray that everybody comes to their senses and we lead in a different direction, not hoping that somebody else has to fall before we get there.
Love it. Anita McCurdy, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
Boom. Did you have fun?
I did.
High
Thanks.
five.
I didn't